So welcome everyone to the Volcano Art Center. My name is Desiree Moana Cruz. I'm a member of the Volcano Art Center. And I'm delighted to be here tonight for our second edition of Hula Voices. And Hula Voices is made possible through a grant provided to us from the Hawaii Tourism Authority. So big mahalo to them. Also through the Volcano, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, to the County of Hawaii Department of Research and Development, the Tourism Division, and I hope I'm not forgetting who else. But it takes a bunch of different people always for everything to do anything worthwhile, working together to make it possible. So this is a new program that we just added on to our Hula Kahiko series, and it's just everything about hula. And so, as I mentioned before, this is our second edition, and we'll do it once a month on the first Thursday, so please come back again. Last month we had the one and only Moses Keali Crab, who did a delightful job. And tonight, I'm really honored to introduce and welcome from Hilo, Kumu Hula, Paul Neves.
Ola ka Keali, o nuu o mai, ola ka mai uka, ola ka mai kai. Ola ka Keali, o nuu o mai, ola ka mai uka, ola ka mai kai. Ola ka Keali, o nuu o mai, ola ka mai uka, ola ka mai kai. Ona ni tawahine nui. Nana e hai tohu o ta ie, ta mai lehihi, o ta nahele, e hui hoi, a hau oli, o hai ta malama. Nana e hai tohu o ta ie, ta mai lehihi, o ta nahele, e hui hoi, a hau oli, o hai ta malama. Nana e hai tohu o ta ie, ta mai lehihi, o ta nahele, e hui hoi, a hau oli, o hai ta malama. O hina wahine, te atua hula nui e, hoi mai. Kaulilua. Kamehameha, Kalakaua.
Hei noa no, kaulilua.
Please, sit. No. Welcome, everybody, please just squish in, scooch over. So welcome once again to Hula Voices. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask some questions and then just let it roll.
Yep.
So first of all, mahalo for that beautiful hula. And I'd like you to tell us a little bit of your personal history. Where are you from? Where you're raised? And also, what is the name of your halau and what does it mean?
Oh, okay. I'm Kumu Paul, Kevin, and my Hawaiian name is Keali, ikea o Mano Neves. I was born in San Francisco. I was raised in San Francisco until I was 14. My papa comes from Kauai. My mother comes from Palama and Honolulu. Big family, 15 kids. I'm number 13, the 11th son. There are 14 of us are still alive, and I'm the baby. I have 2 baby sisters. My kumu, well, my parents moved to Honolulu, San Francisco after the war. My father survived the attack at Pearl Harbor. He worked there on December 7, 1941, after the war. So actually that war changed our whole life, because I don't think my parents had any intention of leaving Honolulu. They lived in a homestead of Papakolea above Puawaina, or a punch bowl, as people know it. And after the war, the economy again collapsed here in Hawaii. And so my father worked for the Navy, so he followed the fleet back to San Francisco, where it went. And for the first time, they lived on the mainland. They had 7 kids with them at the time. They had 8 more in San Francisco. 1968 came around and they moved home. After 22 years living in California, my mother wanted to be closer to her family. And my father also just had enough, wanted to come home. They never lost their local accent. We always thought it was just the way they talked, until we met everybody else here and went, oh, that's an accent, because we never talked like that. We talked like California English. And so they moved home in '68. I was raised in Kailua from '68 on Kailua, Oahu. I graduated from Kailua High in '71. Hung out for a couple of years here. Those days you wanted to go see the world, so I had a 1967 van with the little windows and the whole hippie thing. I had the whole hippie thing going on. It was my first car. So I drove it to Mexico City with a friend of mine from Koku. Car blew up in Arizona. Ended up working for an airline on the West Coast for 10 years. After that experience, I went, that's it, I'm gonna go back to Hawaii. In '84, I came because of this young man over here, Father George DeCosta. He was the pastor at Malia Pukokalani Catholic Church in Keokaha. And he knew me from a friend of a friend. I didn't know him personally, but that's the way it is. And actually, after my first ho'ike, I joined a halau in Las Vegas. My kumu had a halau in Las Vegas in 1978. I joined it in 1979. That's what, before Hawaiians moved to Las Vegas. It was before. It was only a little restaurant about this big in Las Vegas on Fremont Street. It was called Hawaii 5-0. Simon. And they had the best Simon, but that's how big the restaurant was. Now, hotels there have
packages for us to go. They have Portuguese sausage in hotels. Never had that. It was just a desert. And my Kumu, that's where I met my Kumu. Where should I go with that? My Kumu. Better talk about hula. Oh, my hala.
Well, what was the beginning of your hula journey?
My hula journey. My oldest sister was a hula dancer for Johnny Almeida. And her Kumu was a Mrs. Robinson in Papakolea in 1938. That's back in the day. Matter of fact, we just got movies of her Uniki in 1942. I mean, you know, I'm sure the state of Hawaii would like to see those pictures of her dancing Uniki on the top of Papakolea. And there's no buildings behind her. The only building behind her is the Aloha Tower and the ocean.
Wow.
And she's dancing away with my grandpa playing Hawaiian music for her. She was the hula dancer. So growing up, you know, it's almost like today, baby, you dance, you go dance, baby, you dance. Everybody else was just like, I do emus, you know, I cut fish, you know. But my sister Monica was the dancer of dancers. And always admired her. The Blossom sisters were also Rose Blossom. These are old Kumus of the 40s, 30s and 40s and 50s. Johnny Almeida was blind, you know. He was blind and he taught hula as a blind man. And I just asked Sis, I said, how does he know? He says, they go on the floor and he can say, that feet over there, that feet not right. But he said, how do you do hands? He says the hand's like that. He'll just touch your hand and see if the arm is that way. If not, the arm come up. Hey, you know, I have eyes, I'm very kind. Good John, that was her experience. Anyway, and throughout, so Monica was always the dancer. She ran a bar called the Polynesian Hideaway. Polynesian Hideaway was right on the border of San Francisco at Bayshore, if you know San Francisco, Bayshore Avenue, going to the old Candlestick Park. Bayshore Avenue. The bar was called the Polynesian Hideaway. It was a real, it was a dump, it was a dive. But Hawaiians make dives look like palaces. That's just the way we are. Because it was the only place Hawaiians showed up. The only place we could go. There was no such thing as halaus and festivals. We didn't have festivals for Hawaiian people. We made our own. So she was the bartender. She fell in love with the bar. She fell in love with the bar owner, divorced her husband, and married the bar owner. But this place was unique. If this is Jay and he's serving drinks, that is San Mateo County. Where you sit and drink is San Francisco County. If there's ever a scuffle at the bar, he would have to call 2 police departments. And they would come through the door, the Polynesian Highway like that, you're going to San Francisco jail. They crossed over, you're going to San Mateo. Right around the corner was this place called the Cow Palace, where all the cowboys hang out. It was called the Cow Palace because that's where they had rodeos. So this place was like downtown Honolulu, put in San Francisco in the 30s, 40s. There was the best, I mean, we were just little kids, but there was some contentious moments when the cowboys walked in the door and the first Samoans had landed in Hawaii, in California. And the Hawaiians were really the peace guys. We were the good guys. Trying to keep everybody from killing each other, you know. So it was a very interesting time. And we did hula shows. My sister danced with, this is my wife, Wanda. Her mother's aunt, her mother's first cousin's wife was my hula teacher. I'd never been to Hilo. They didn't know her at all. She wasn't even born yet. I was 10, 11 years old and I was dancing for her. And her name was Auntie Harriet Spalding. Harriet Spalding married David Spalding from Kilcara. Married my mother-in-law's cousin. Later on when I came home, I went, who was your, oh, do you know Harriet Spalding? I said, do I know Harriet? She's my hula teacher. You know, the world is so small. It was small already. And she was my first hula teacher. Auntie Harriet and her sister Mary, Keali. Auntie Pua, Kaneali? I knew Auntie Pua when she was a young girl. Because she used to come up and visit her cousin. Because that's how they're related. Yeah. Harriet Keali married David Spalding, which is her family. So Auntie Pua, sometimes I said, Auntie Pua, how's the family? She goes, I cannot believe her. I said, we're not related, Auntie. But we're like one mole away from family. She's related to her from the Keali side. And that's Auntie Pua's mama. Auntie Edith. Auntie Edith's side is related to them from the Keali side. So interesting, yeah. But anyway, but that was kind of fun, kind of. Left, came back to Hawaii. I really didn't think I was going to be much of a hula dancer. It really wasn't my thing until 1979. When I was working for the airlines in San Diego, they moved the airline, they closed the station, and they moved to Las Vegas. My first wife, Keali, she's a beautiful dancer. She's from New Orleans. And she used to dance at the Valley High restaurant in San Diego. If you ever go to San Diego, there's this big Valley High restaurant. She was the feature dancer there for years. They did the whole Polynesian show thing. That's what Californians did, Polynesian show. They still do Polynesian show. If you go over there, they'll tell you, oh, you can't go anywhere unless you dance Tahitian. I go, well then, I'm not going anywhere because I don't want to do Tahitian. I don't like to do poi ball. We had to, Auntie Harriet made us do all that poi ball and, you know, all that stuff, fire knife dance stuff, and Samoan knife dancing, all that. I never struck anything with me. I just like hula. And so anyway, she ran into this guy named Wayne Kahone Panoke. Wayne was a Kamehameha Schools grad, 68. And he was Uriki in 68 from Auntie Nona, Kapuai Lokia, Mano Neves, Beamer. That was his kumu. That was his radical teacher at Kamehameha. People know Auntie Nona, yeah. And when you look at Auntie Nona, you go, she's about the most nicest radical person you'll ever meet. But she really walked on the left side of the road. She was way before her time, and she was unafraid to speak up. You know, she got kicked out of Kamehameha. She got kicked out, she went back in. And it looked, because her mother was Louise Beamer. I met Auntie Louise, buried up at the Hawaiian church in Waimea. But the grandmother was Helen Deshay Beamer. You from Hilo. I'm like, what halau? She's the best musician Hilo ever had. And I like to push my boys out. Helen Deshay Beamer wrote music that is still the standard of Hawaiian music. Write one song better than Helen Deshay Beamer. Measure it. I told that to one of the musicians, and I said, oh yeah, you heard this song. He said, how does that compare with
Kawahiku Kapulani.
Kawahiku Kapulani. Wow. Yeah. And she did it on piano. You know, Hawaiians back then, they knew piano. My remnants of a piano was Kai Davis. Kai Davis was a musician for the group at the Polynesian Highway. Kai Davis wrote songs like Aloha vau yahu oe, aina umolokai. When these boys sing that, I go, oh, Uncle Kai. With a scotch on them, well, little kids, but a scotch is like a drink. On the piano, play it with one hand, take a sip, do the cigarette, and still play and sing. And laugh. They're not so serious with sunglasses like they play today. They just sat around a piano. We used used to call that chalang-a-lang piano. They could play classics. They could play Beethoven. Give them the music. How'd that go? La 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 la. They know how, what? But anyway, Ellen Deshay, her mother was Keali. Those guys had that whole musical line and singing and chanting down. That all comes to Auntie Nona. Auntie Nona, after she gets kicked out, finishes school, then goes back to teach there. This is where it gets interesting and where Kohone comes in. Kohone is the class of 1966. His classmates are Nathan Kalama, Kumu on Kauai. The other one is Leo Anderson, who always does the story of Liliuokalani. I mean, this is the 100th anniversary of her passing. You hear Leo do the story of Liliuokalani, you think she's still alive. The other one is I forget his name, but he is the choreographer for Keali Reisha a long time on Maui. Oh, I forget his name, but Kumu too. The other crazy nut is the Englishman, Kahiko Trap. He's an Englishman. Not even American, Englishman. She teaches him and makes sure that he knows language. And so that's Kahiko Trap and Kohone. Kohone was given the Kahiko. I guess if I wanted to talk about halau, I mean, that's why I brought them here. We are but a few. I think if you put all these people in my halau, it's too big. It's a little bit smaller than this. Big, small, started big, went even, went small. You know, after the whole experience, after all these years of teaching and being, I think this is the best way to explain our hula house. Auntie Nona would look at a person and would go, what do you like to do? So your son, what does he like to do? You like hula? You like hula? What kind of hula you like? Okay. Auntie Nona would see that in a child and go, come baby. You come baby. That's what you do. What do you like to do? What's your favorite thing to do? Tell me anything. Photography. This guy always taking pictures. This bugger loves pictures. He takes the best pictures. He'll take the picture of a mo'o going up my coconut tree. It's gorgeous. I always wanted to be a photographer. He takes pictures of everything. He would take pictures, make you all look prettier than you already are. Because he just has a knack for taking pictures. And you know what? We go, come baby. Take these pictures. Come. Tell me what you see when you take this picture. What do you like to do?
I love music and aloha.
Ah,
You know?
Music.
Yes.
You-
The aloha way. And my poetry music.
Good. Nathan Kalama. And Nathan will tell you this. Kumu Nathan Kalama on Kauai. His father was the old kind of church guy. You know? Nobody sang Hawaiian music. Only if it's Hawaiian church music. No such thing as Okalenai. And he was at Kamehameha, Nathan. And he loved music. My Kumu Kohone was a big man, like 400 pounds. He liked to hide behind him and sing in the line. And you know, he said, boy, sing. Oh, my father's a kahu. The old style kahu, you cannot, because they looked at Hawaiian music and Hawaiian things not too well. Not nice. They looked at hula dancing even worse. Auntie Nona's at Kamehameha schools. And you know Kamehameha schools, hoike? Make sure they do hoike. They should do hoike every year, every week. Because when Auntie Nona taught up there, they could not dance hula. forbidden. And she was trying to get the class of '66 to dance. She was gonna push it. She goes, I remember her saying, trustees, show me the Pawahi's will, the princess's will. Does it say we can't sing Hawaiian? Does it say we cannot dance? Does it say we cannot do the tattoos or the chanting? Show me in the will where it says we cannot. Thank you, honey. And so she goes. That's the kind of person she was. Show me, and I'll go back to my little place in the Big Island and take all my chants with me and not say nothing. She takes Nathan, she goes, you're in charge of music. You do music. From that time on, Nathan Kalama, his focus has always been Hawaiian music. One of these days, we're going to do this and go to Kauai. He has boxes of music he wrote. He created groups of musicians. He loves when these boys play music. His music festival, his festival surrounds creative music. You know, sing, sing, sing. But Auntie Nona knew what your trait was like. When I look at my halau, each one of them are different. Each one of them have different traits. Photographer, give him, yeah. Handsome, just got his hair cut. Speak Hawaiian. Learn the language. Excellent at costuming. You give him material, you give him stuff, and he would make you look so pretty in a Hawaiian way. A rope, wrap, any kind. Not think, just do it. Every one of you. And he learns from my hula brother, who's a master at it. Yeah. Kimo had a hard life growing up. When he dances float. You know that Kauai bird that flies inside the crater, the white bird? You know, sometimes you see from the side, you know, they glide, almost like they take the wind and they glide. That's how he dances. Just like that, natural. So, I'm not gonna make him a singer, you know why? He's tone deaf. Baga is tone deaf. I've never seen anybody tone deaf in an oli. Yeah, how can you be tone deaf? How can you do that? That's impossible. But that's not his trait. That's not his trait. His trait is costuming, the eye. He can see. Kumu, I think we should do this. That's his trait. Maka. Beautiful race. This is Maka. She's right down the hill from you folks. You know, down Mountain View side. Maka. She's a mother of many and she never made one. She inherited her sister and a whole house of kids. It's wonderful to watch. It's what she tells me about the kids. I always ask her, I even ask her, how's the kids? They drive me crazy. Love it. She takes care of animals. She loves to take care of animals. She works at a veterinary office. Sometimes she's late to class because gets surgery. Yeah. Maka is great with her hand. Beautiful dancer, but great with her hands. I love when she makes haku. I love when she glides around. I love when she just, you know, does. Here. Just do one verse. I just love when they do this. They do this. I choreographed this. And I get to watch this. Just hold on. Just go. See right there, one. Go.
Makapoli hona, hona mea, e a kei
From my heart comes the sensation of relaxation. Let us drink of one another's beauty and take it beyond. Oh, pretty, huh? If you knew Auntie Nona, and it's true, our hula house, male, female, we all have it. There is no, that's a man, that's a woman. No, that's a man holding his trait as a man, but also the capacity of femininity, as well as that woman, the capacity of masculinity. If you know Auntie Nona, remember her. Big bunch of aloha. I used to say, my kumu used to say, oh, this is on tape. I can't say that. Auntie Nona has big feet. And I said, why would you tell me that? And I'm looking at her and I said, oh God, she has huge feet. We all have the same things. It's just, we are male and we are female. But the balance that was taught in our house is that balance, that a kane is still a kane. A kane is still a kane. And a wahine is still a wahine. She's still a wahine. Same motion. Same motion. Only one God. God never made two different. God just put them in different shell. And now be like the other from the shell you are. Be like the other from the shell you are. The challenge for all of us is to come into balance. Especially if we have big feet. So, it was finding those different traits. Of course, this is my wife, right? So she's slightly more important. No. What's interesting about Wanda is she's a beautiful person, and she's my opposite.
Oh, sorry.
See, that must be her phone. Is that your phone?
No.
It sounds like her phone.
Yeah, sound like my phone.
It is. It's Wanda's phone, of course. We're totally opposite. I would have turned it off. Matter of fact, I think I left mine in the car.
You did.
I did. Just don't even, yeah. Anyway,
Sorry.
this has been, we've been partners for over 30 years, legally 27. He did the service. We got married. We have 2 children. Oh, well, not they're not children. What is today? The 7th. By the 25th, we're gonna be grandparents. Our first grandchild on the 25th. Agalagun. She's gonna make baby. She's gonna be a son. And Wanda. Good partner. Good partner. Well, you have to know that in the house as well. My Kumu was a very gay man who had a gay partner and needed that partner. It's a partner. And I think in our house we were always compelled to have a partner. Because there's some things that bring out your teaching ability that only the person that knows your heart can touch and move. When I went through my uniki, it was October 23rd, 1999. And, my kumu was doing this ceremony with me in my living room. And he says, okay. And this is after like 20 years of learning from him. He goes, and I'm wondering, okay, where's the ceremony? He goes, okay, Polly boy, sit down, let's start our ceremony. Okay, I sat down. We just started crying. And we must have cried for half an hour. There was no chant. There was no talk. But yet there was chant. And there was talk. Just cried because of my love for him and his love for me. All that other stuff in our house is stuff. It's stuff to show you or give direction to what you're doing. You know, we chant, we dance, it's all good stuff. Don't get me wrong, don't misquote me. But that stuff is irreplaceable. One of these days, one of us lives alone. One of these days. Either I by myself or her with herself. But if we love, then she's always with me. And I'm always with her. And hula is it's no more complicated than that. I don't think our people intended it to be complicated. They just got bored out here in the middle Pacific, so they made plenty of chants. They did tests to test your kahiko love, to test how much a photographer, a singer you want to be, to always keep you sharp, but not to stifle, to engage you. So Wanda's love comes through the hula and comes through our love as partners. And I hope she just continues does that. She does that for me. She does that for me. Henry, you know, this guy, Namaka, of course you've already heard his leo, his voice is extraordinary. He's teamed up with two other guys with also extraordinary voices. They're called Komakakino. They're beautiful. And I force them to be stay to the tradition. Never mind. This kind of, musicians today, this is musicians today. I don't have a pair of sunglasses. They like to sit down and put on sunglasses like they're all children of Brother Is. Our musicians stood there with a smile. You're entertainers. Engage your audience. Put your cell phone away. This is important. More than, look at that look. Saw that look? Did you see that? Did you see it? This is more important. How you? What song should I sing that touches her? The kupuna, our elders, we were taught, the kupuna get up and go to the bathroom. That's not a good sign. Early in the concert, not a good sign. You want those old people to sit up there in the front seat going, I gotta go shoot, I don't want to go, oh shoot, look, you don't say this. That's the kind. You let them wet the chair. But if they go, oh, excuse me, baby, I need some coffee, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And when you look at Hawaiian stuff, when you look at Hawaiian musicians and the way we present ourselves, yeah, it was to engage, not to disengage. So we do our best to make you a part, to make you feel welcome. Hospitality first, but also to do things that make you feel good about yourself. Why would you be here if you didn't feel good about yourself? If I get over here and said, da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da-da, and a girl shouldn't dance like that, and shouldn't sit like that, what is that? That's not Hawaiian. We have ways of showing our displeasure. I'll tell you a story. My Kumu, gotta remember, she comes from an older school than my Kumu. He was 1968, okay? So, in the 80s, let's just say in the 80s. The thing was, we all signed up to go to kahiko classes, oli classes, and they still do. And it's all good. But in the old hula house, you learn from your kumu. That word kumu doesn't mean floor sweeper. That's the resource. The kumu is the trunk of the tree. That is the mentality of our people. This is your source. Why? Because from that source, you control yourself. You control your emotion so that you present yourself well. Someone has to tell you, cut it out. Someone that you love, right? So he went to Kamehameha school, went to a workshop at Kamehameha school. He was just like, I learned this chanting. And he went to Auntie Nona and he says, Auntie, oh gosh, I went to this workshop and you know, can I just want to go back and she goes, oh honey, and what do you wish to learn? What do you hope to learn? In other words, I'm your kumu. I'm your resource. That's like, this is my teacher. Oh, I just can't wait to go get taught by him. This is my teacher. How they did it in the old days is that teacher talked to that teacher. I'm sending you this kid. His first teacher was Mikey Ayu. Everybody knows Mikey Ayu because she really formalized teaching. Yeah, Mikey, the Casamaros, they all come from Mikey Ayu. Well, he did too. Because he was Arona family, all Mikey Ayu. But he was going to Kamehameha. So he went to Kamehameha, Mrs. Ayu got on the phone, you know, probably only 3 numbers on the, you know, on the dial them days, and calls Auntie Nona says, honey, I'm sending you my baby. He loves hula. We can't keep him out of the line. And he would follow the dancers all over the place. He becomes a little obnoxious, but he's a lovely boy. Oh, Auntie, I will take care of him. Sure, thank you. That's how they did it. They didn't post a notice, come here and dance hula. This is very modern. It's okay, do it. But just think about what our people wanted to do. They wanted me to ask Desiree permission to go learn from this camera girl. Not just to assert, oh, I'm an American, I just go learn. No, I'm a Hawaiian, I ask permission to learn. Because if you don't ask permission, you will not get. What you'll get are the crumbs off the table. You want the main meal, you talk to the chef. And it was a teaching thing. It was a teaching thing. So to make sure that all of our respect throughout time will always be this deep respect, not one better than the other. No such thing. Auntie Nona did not compete against Mikey Ayu for some kind of merry Honolulu festival. They didn't do that. You just did your hula. And if they like, they like. If they like, they like. It was like that. We're living in a different age. Yeah, and we have to be aware of that. So, just be aware of it. Boy, another one that speaks the language, they all went to Nawahi. You know, Punana Leo from baby time. So did my son, so did my daughter. And we sacrificed our time to make sure that they did get that language. The language, again, helps us. But the language, I'm not a speaker. I'm not a speaker. And some people say, well, you have to speak the language. No, you don't have to anything. You have to feel the language. If you listen to the old folks when they talked, they almost invited you to speak. Peoi. Peoi. That is so. That is so. Why do you just say, how are you then? Because that's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like a Hawaiian talking to me. But I could say to you, how are you? That almost sounds like peoi, huh? And we will have a difficult time communicating in the future if we don't remember the rubrics of why, the aloha behind the language. If you have the aloha behind the language, when you do the hula, when you do the arts and crafts or whatever thing you get into, that's Hawaiian, You're gonna have that little aloha that moves you. Okay. So, Namaka State music. Also, we've composed song together. Hakumele. Beautiful music. Kimo's helped compose. Helps me compose. Compose with them. Loved it. Went crazy. We composed all kinds of songs. What song did I do compose? A little bit.
You gonna dance?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so Auntie Nona would say, good voice, good chanting voice, can remember, that's you. Go do the research. You research person. You director. You next Kumu. Not everybody Kumu. Not everybody Kumu. So what I liked about the style and the style of the halau when I first joined it, and it is that way today, is that I hate calling them students, because students it's just a different thing. I see a classroom with everybody almost like this. When we think of it as how mana, mana, the spirit, how, you know the how tree, tangled like this, that's how the relationship. I married her, who's the niece of, I know Namaka, he used to slap his head, now he get here, whatever. Me and him wrote this song. One time I got angry at Maka, but she forgave me. That's the entanglements of living in halau. That's why it's so hard to say goodbye. That's why it's so hard to say, you're going to Uniki. Okay, let's do the program. Because you cry for all the love that's been shared. That's why it's haumana. That's what haumana means. Go down the beach and you could look at all the how and think. That's how you're connected, disconnected, you're entwined. Hawaiians have a beautiful word they use, hohi, hihi, yeah? Yeah, hohi. A nice kind of entanglement. Stand up, your son. This is your dad, right? You and your father like this, like this, like this, like that. He's seen your butt before you even got eyes for it. Yup. That's the entanglement of a father and a son. Great heart from him, blood of my blood. My son, my father's grandson. Yeah. That's that how all tangled up. You can ask, oh, that's my father. Slap your head. No way. We can never do that. We can get angry and say that, but the entanglement, the he is going to bring us back. Always bring us back to the relationship. So with hula is same. With hula is same. It's a celebration of a wonderful entanglement. And how tree can grow for many, 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 many years. There's some places where you don't kill kaha. There's no way they're going to take that how out of there. It's that big and it's twined around. That's a beautiful image that our hula people put together. That's what a relationship is. And it's got its own spirit. Away from me, different. Entwined, family, how? That's the spirit, the mana, the spirit, the bark of the kumu, of the resource. So, you don't just get to do your own thing in the halau. Well, I just keep do my own thing. You're not going to last in a halau. There is no such thing. You got a 6-man canoe and one person's going to paddle it and steer it. Ain't going to work. You're going to sink fast. It's going to be horrible. So, it is a collective decision that we all love each other enough to do this evening, to be here like we should be, or like I think to a certain extent, halau. When the good Christians came here, they should have just looked at a halau and said, "There's not much more that we need to teach these people." They seem to have got it together. Everybody's entwined. Nobody's got their nose up in the air. Everybody's fed well. You know, but some people, I guess, have to break everything down so they can rebuild it the way they want. What an unfortunate series of events we went through to come back to the same day to go, this is exactly what the world called our people to do. And it made sense to do it. If we're not entwined over here in Hawaii, where are you going to, what relationship, or how are we going to survive? If the mountain is not twined to the sea, if the sea is not twined to the mountain, how are we supposed to survive? Well, you can pollute up there, but as long as it don't bother me down here, or I can pollute down here as long as it doesn't pollute up there. We're an island people, and those of you that have come to settle amongst us should realize that too. If the water goes bad here, there is no water line to the Rocky Mountains from here. So it behooves us to be haumana, students of that idea, of that thought, to be entwined, okay, and to be joined with each other. Nobody gets out. The only way you're going to get out is if you make, you die. And make is die. Two bad words. Make is a bad word. Mama used to tell me, make is a bad word. I said, Mama, it means dead. No. It means end, finish. Hala is a much better word. It means pass on, pass by. When your relative pass away, they're going to pass by. That's why we see Tutu. That's why I see my mother yesterday. Because now she could just keep on passing by. Oh, we use that in high school, say, hala means to graduate. Yeah. If I go from this life, I guess I'm graduating to the next one, if you want to look at it that way. But make was a way for certain Christian sects to say, it's finished, without Jesus, you ain't going to go nowhere beyond. So you make die dead. That's what they used to say, huh? You make die dead. You finish. And I said, hala. I'm going to be back next week. Watch. Watch, I'm going to be back. When you see my child, you're going to see me. When you hear my name and my great-grandchild, you're going to see me. When you see the sun rise at this time and that fish come up, you're going to remember. That's me. I'm going to holler, I'm going to pass. Mama said, you know, I had 15 kids. When I pass by, I can see all 15 at the same time. Before, I used to wait for you guys to have to come visit me. Bucket don't show up. Now, I can mess with you in your bed over here. I can go to New York. Hey, get up. Oh, what's that? Ma, take it easy, Ma. Hawaiians did not know of an ending of life. Just a transformation. They didn't have to be saved. Saved from what? They loved life. So you have to create hell so you can have heaven right here on earth. No, I said, wasn't it always on earth? Where else could it be? Do we sail away to it? Do we dance hula if we find one? No, it's kind of like right here. That's why it's so beautiful. What else would you want? Yeah. So, these guys, I'm actually doing what my Kumu did. He did the same thing as me, a little bit, kind of crazy. Yeah. But what Auntie Nona did, and what she did for us was to take these people, and what is their expertise? Leo Anderson was a beautiful drama person. Go learn this story of Liliuokalani so our people never forget. And you tell that story as if she's alive in you. And she's fabulous. She's wonderful. She's awesome. And that was one of his brother, his older brother and sister, Leo Anderson. And Nathan does crazy stuff with music and everything like that, still does. Mike Kumu was given the drum and we're still pounding drums. Because there's different things that we can do. Rather than, I just want hula dancers with the brown hair about that long. You know, I so think that's so awesome. I saw, there was a halal, what was that halal? Kamuela. I always like that. I mean, those girls they're born and raised out of Waimanalo and Keali. They're about this high, their hair is about this long, it's about that thick, Kanaka face, and they fly all over the stage.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, they come out of a hula making machine or what? You know, I get that kind of, I get purple hair, too deep, some big, some skinny. But it's just, you know, you take what Akua gives you, and you make your flower with them. You make flowers with them. You know, you do with them. Okay, hey, you got to answer. Did they answer questions, or you just?
Do we have any questions? We're just about come to the end of our night.
Good.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah? No question? You're all good? You're all
And
good?
so if no questions, we'd like to end with a bit of heaven, maybe in a song.
I would like to do this for you. I would like to do this for you. You know, this is the 100th anniversary of the Queen's passing. And not long ago, my mother was 4 years old in 1917. My father was 5. So the Queen passed, my parents were alive. So it's not like ancient history, the Queen of Hawaii passed. No, not ancient. 100 years ago. We found in the Hawaiian newspaper, I'm just gonna move this beautiful chair. Gosh, you could just give this to me. Kumu needs that chair. But we found in the Hawaiian newspaper, my great-grandmother had a brother. His name was Richard Nawai Au. Richard was a lieutenant in the Royal Hawaiian Band. On September the 2nd, 1892, he hosted with the other royalists and loyal people of the band the Queen's birthday in Kaka'ako on Honolulu. It was the last time she had her birthday before they moved and took her off the throne. So little did she know on September 2nd, 1892, she would no longer be the Queen or recognized Queen of Hawaii. Just 4 months later. But anyway, we found that in the paper, and I was reading about Auntie Nona. You know, don't go up there like Lolo and say something wrong because it's on camera. I don't want to have a call from Miley Lou or someone in the house. Hey, what'd you say that for? No, okay. So I was reading, in 1965, Kamehameha had a carnival, and they danced hula. For the first time, hula girls and boys stood up and they danced hula. She got some radical thoughts from what she did that time. There's a beautiful video if you ever get a hold of it and read that story. True story. Just prior to that carnival, Louise had got up and danced. The trustees said, we'll not have this stuff is terrible and all that kind of stuff, yeah. And she, you know, Auntie Nona's going, I don't see it in the will. It doesn't say it. You know how she is. The closing song for the carnival was this song. And the closing song is called Kalananapua. You've heard Kalananapua. Kalananapua is famous are the flowers. Who's the flowers? The people. Hawaiians. Famous are the flowers. Famous are the people who love their land. Wow. Wow. And Ellen Prendergast taught the Royal Hawaiian Band, come listen to the song on guitar. One time, this is the song. And it talks about, you know, don't sign, here comes the evilness of the of the annexation people that want to take away the throne. Do not stand firmly by the queen. Stand firmly. Love the land. And you know, some people say, they call it mele ai pohaku. Mele ai pohaku is eat the stones. Hawaiians did not eat dirt. Red salt from Kauai, real close. But they don't eat dirt. And there's certain salts that, you know, they do eat. But mele ai pohaku is, we'd rather eat the stone than to sign away our rights and our land. You know, for years and years and years. Anyway, the song was never to be danced. Yeah, because of its meaning. However, Auntie, at the end of this festival, they were going to sing, you know, like how Kamehameha sings out, yeah, they were going to sing Kaulana Napua, but they're only allowed to sit. So she didn't say, "Look, we're not going to dance it, but you're going to stand when you sing that song." And so she had them all stand and sang in 3/4 part harmony, Kaulana Napua. What a moment. What a moment. We don't have an iPhone back then. What a moment that must have been. You know, so I, in finding out my relative celebrated that birthday with her, that I took that song and we put it to chant. And we put it to a chant form. And I'd like to do it tonight. Again, except Auntie Wanda, she can play ukulele. Sit in my chair. Sit in my chair.
Yeah.
Sit in my chair. Put that right in the car. Back seat. But this is for all of you. Thank you so much for thank you, Desiree, for
Thank
inviting
you,
me.
mahalo.
And thank you for those cameras. Okay, I'm sure you will edit. I'm sure you will. But anyway, you know, mahalo. And if you are involved in hula, and I know some of you are, if you're in hula, just know that, you know, that is like Kalakaua said. That's the heartbeat of our people. And if we don't do what our people are feeling, then we do a disservice to our kupuna. Uncle George Naopi told me one time, you know, he used to hang around by the, when you were walking into the Mary Monarch, he always had a smoked cigarette break over there. He goes, "Boy," I said, "Right." He says, "What song are you learning?" I said, "Oh, I'm teaching them this. Make up your own." I said, "Make up my own?" He said, "Yeah. We spend all this time to go research songs. Write the songs of your generation. Write what's happening to us. Write what's happening to our islands. Write what's happening to our families. Because if we don't write about it, we don't sing about it, we don't do it, nothing will get done about it. And we'll just be wiping off the dust at Bishop Museum. Bring it alive. So this one is kind of like off the dust, but it's done in chant. It's done in a chant style. So it's called Mele ai Pohaku or Kaulana Napua. However you guys want to do this. Just the boys. Okay.
Just the boys. Yeah, just the boys.
No, keep going.
Just like you asked.
So, what is it, September 16th?
Oh, September 16th,
September
next
16th, we're gonna get
Saturday
the hula pa.
at 10:30. They'll be there at the hula pa. So be there 10:30 Saturday,
Okay,
the 16th, next week.
okay, you guys gonna do this, right? Thank you, Desiree.
Mahalo.
Hello, everybody. Okay.
You also gotta get him a membership for hula. You like come dance
Oh,
hula
you
with us.
really? You know what also I think is vindictive of our hula house? We're terrible at recruiting. We're absolutely horrible. You know, Auntie Pua is a good friend of my kumu. They worked on this thing called, what's that dog? Kaili Hula Ukalani?
Yeah. Hilo Hula Ukalani
Yeah,
Coalition.
They founded it with the kind, Takamini, with Victoria Hall. And so they said, you know, people, I think she kind of looked at me kind of crooked. I said, well, what did you say? He was talking with Auntie Pua, and Auntie Pua said, oh, you know, we have like 80 people gonna audition for the halau. And Kone was just struck by that, Kumu. And he said, and they auditioned. He says, yeah, they cannot, and they don't get it. He says, I'll take all your throwaways. She stopped doing auditions. That's just the way we are, man. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if Akua like. If Akua like, I love Mary Bonner, love what the one has done, and George did. It's a fabulous thing. It lifted our people. It lifted the world.
Yes.
It has lifted the world. We should be so proud to know these people. But, you know, if I could cut this guy in half, then I'd have 4 boys. I don't think he wants to join us right away. Yeah, children. Okay, here we go. All right, Makoko. Makoko.
Ai, kaulana nā pua, ao Hawaii.
Ha!
Kaulana.
Kaulana nā pua o Hawaii, upaka hope o karenga. Himai elele o kaloko ino, palapala anu mika pakahane.
Kaulana.
Kaulana nā pua o Hawaii, upaka hope o karenga. Himai elele o kaloko ino, palapala anu mika pakahane.
Hane mai.
Mai mai o ke hale o kuana no o piare ka ko o mai ka o I o mane papu mo te o aku hine
Aole ae.
aole e ka o ka purina ano ka popa ka e o hui me ka ku ai ela ka pono fibila o ke kanaka
Aole mako.
aole mako e mina puka ke au puna ua lava mako te poha ka ai maha o ka ina
Mahope.
ahope mako lili ulani alawa ai ka pono o ka haina ia mai na ka puana ka po e aloha I ka ina
Mahope.
Mahope mako lili ulani Hawai ka pono o ka ina haina ia mai na ka puana ka po e aloha I ka ina
He mele no liliu o kalani.
Mahalo.
Hallelujah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Kumu Paul, and all of you. Beautiful. Once again, it's next Saturday, not this Saturday. Next Saturday, the 16th, 10:30. Be there, be square. We'll see you there. Yeah, mahalo nui. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you to our camera people. Thank you so much. We have a